negativity.
Huh?
Someone just said, would you make a song with YoungBoy?
Would I?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question, man.
So
That's a
answer.
great question.
Yo, what's up everyone? Let me share something with you right now. The streets are absolutely losing it, and I'm not talking about regular individuals. We see G Herbo out here looking like he's caught in a high-stakes game, trying to maintain a presence in Chicago with Lil Durk and Oblocked, while simultaneously being almost entirely an NBA YoungBoys circle. No cap. This whole situation is insane. Once I show you what just occurred, you're going to understand exactly why the entire internet is calling this man out for playing both sides. We're discussing a man who was in the trenches with King Von, who established his whole career right next to Lil Durk, now getting caught in the club reciting NBA YoungBoy's lyrics, word for word, like he's at a NBA YoungBoy concert. But that's only the surface level. Gang, what took place on that live stream with his son, that was the moment things became truly uncomfortable. And that's when everyone realized exactly what G Herbo has been trying to pull this entire time. Stay with me because this narrative is much deeper than you realize. And truthfully, it's becoming dangerous. Alright, let me break this down for you from the very beginning because to grasp why this is such a major issue, you have to understand the history. G Herbo and Lil Durk, these aren't just rap co-workers, fam. These two are day ones. We are talking about two Chicago legends who rose up together, who represented their city together, and who survived the same environments that claimed so many of their friends. While other artists were landing record deals and relocating to LA or Atlanta, these two remained tied to Chicago, remained tied to their origins, and remained tied to one another. G Herbo is from No Limit, right? And if you do your research, and I mean really dig into it, you'll discover that the bond between No Limit and O-Block is deep. We aren't just discussing gang ties here. We are talking about family connections, about people who were raised in the same neighborhoods, attended the same schools, and lost the same companions to the same street violence. When G Herbo was in a hospital bed after being shot in the foot, do you know who was in the bed right next to him? Do your research on that. The point is, these ties go deep. This isn't just a surface-level friendship for the cameras, but here is where it gets even more intense. King Von. Rest in peace to the legend. Truly. King Von wasn't just an artist for Lil Durk. He wasn't just O-Block royalty. King Von and G Herbo had a genuine relationship. You can easily find photos of them together and videos of them hanging out at studios, parties, and in the hood. It was just real love between two Chicago natives who understood the struggle. G Herbo even mentioned in an interview that King Von was like a brother to him, that he loved him to death, and that he knew King Von long before the fame arrived. Those are his actual words, not mine. So keep that in mind as this story unfolds, because that statement is going to come back to haunt him now. Here is the reality of loyalty in Chicago. It is everything. It isn't just about who you are cool with when things are going well, when the money is coming in, and when everyone is winning. It's about who you stand beside when everything falls apart. And right now, everything is falling apart for Lil Durk. So let's move forward to 2024. And this is where the narrative really begins to get messy. Lil Durk gets taken into custody on some very serious charges.
Chicago-born rapper Lil Durk appeared before a federal judge in Florida this morning.
We are talking about murder for hire, a federal case, the entire works. This isn't some standard arrest where you can just post bail and be out the following day. Chicago-raised artist Lil Durk is now facing allegations in connection with a murder for hire plot. This is the kind of situation where you are looking at the possibility of spending the rest of your life behind bars. This is the type of case where you truly find out who really has your back. And while Lil Durk is sitting in that cell, likely thinking about his children, his family, and his future, the internet starts blowing up about G Herbo, and not in a positive way. First, the video footage comes out, and I'm not talking about some grainy, hard-to-see kind of footage. No, this is crystal clear. It's HD quality, filmed from multiple angles, and the entire event is documented. G Herbo is in the club, and he isn't just present. He is turning up. But here is the wild part. He is with NBA YoungBoys crew. We are talking about 4K team members. We are talking about OG33, who is literally NBA YoungBoy's brother, right there in the same section. And G Herbo doesn't look uneasy. He doesn't look like he just happened to end up there by mistake. Shorty is dancing. He is vibing. He's smiling. He looks incredibly comfortable. Like this is exactly where he wants to be. Like these are his people now. Now, let me explain why this is such a significant problem. NBA YoungBoys artist Quando Rando was present when King Von died. Quando Rando's associate, Lol Tim, is the person who pulled the trigger that took King Von's life.
According to GBI, rapper King Von and his group were at Opium nightclub before making their way here to Monaco Hookah Lounge, then to the parking lot where chaos ensued.
And while NBA YoungBoy wasn't physically present that night in Atlanta, the streets know the deal. There are rumors that NBA YoungBoy paid for Lol Tim's bond to get him out of jail, that he gave him money to stay afloat, and that they remain tight to this day. Whether all of that is factual or not, the perception exists. And in the streets, perception is reality. So, when people see G Herbo, a man who referred to King Von as his brother, and a man who came up with Lil Durk in the club with NBA YoungBoy's people, the optics are awful. It looks as though he is choosing a side, and it isn't the side people expected him to support. But wait, it gets even worse. The video that truly set the internet on fire wasn't just him being in the club with 4KT, it was him rapping to NBA YoungBoy's music. And I don't mean he just knew a line or two because the track was playing. This man knew the lyrics bar for bar. We are talking word for word, every single ad-lib and every pause. It's like he has been studying the song, like he is a certified NBA YoungBoy fan. He is in there with his girl, and they are both going wild to the music. His girl is recording it. He is performing for the camera, and he is rapping NBA YoungBoy's lyrics with the same level of energy people use for their favorite artist's music. Now, some people might claim, it's just music. Bro, it isn't that serious. But in Chicago, and in this specific situation, it is that serious, because music is the way these dudes communicate. When you are rapping another man's lyrics, especially when that man is linked to your homie's biggest rival, and especially when your homie is locked up fighting for his life, you are making a statement whether you intended to or not. The comment section went absolutely nuclear. Oh, Block BJ, you know? The one who was present when King Von died, and the one who fired back at Lol Tim. He jumped into the comments calling G Herbo soft. He's letting him know what's up with no filter. And BJ isn't the only one. People from Lil Durk's camp and people from O-Block are all looking at this entire situation sideways. But here is what really exposed everything. The live stream. So G Herbo is on a live stream with Ben Downright. Everything is going fine. They are talking and discussing music. And then G Herbo's son comes into the frame on camera in front of hundreds of thousands of live viewers. This child looks at his father and asks, "Would you make a song with NBA YoungBoy?"
Huh?
Someone just said, would you make a song with YoungBoy?
Would I?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yo, the way G Herbo's expression shifted, you could see his entire brain trying to calculate the correct response. He froze up like a deer in headlights. His eyes got wide. He started stuttering, trying to figure out how to answer this question without ruining his reputation or burning bridges with either side. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he says, "That's a good question, man. I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know."
I don't know. That's a good question, man.
So answer.
Great question.
Fam, if you are truly solid with Lil Durk, and if you really meant it when you said King Von was your brother, the answer should have been instant. It should have been, nah, that isn't happening. But instead, we got hesitation. And in the streets, hesitation implies that you are already considering it. Hesitation means you are trying to keep your options open. And that was the moment it clicked for everyone watching. G Herbo didn't just accidentally end up in these situations. He has been actively attempting to play both sides. The internet detectives went to work immediately after that live stream. People started pulling up old interviews, and they found a lot. There is a clip from a podcast where G Herbo talks about being friends with both Lil Durk and NBA YoungBoy. He says, "Me and NBA YoungBoy, we don't have any beef. I'm cool with him. I want to see him win." And then, in the same breath, he is talking about how King Von is his brother, and he loves him to death. But here is the problem with that logic. You can't love King Von and be cool with the people connected to his passing. You can't say someone is your brother and then go party with their rivals. That isn't how loyalty functions. That's playing both sides, and everyone can see it clearly. Now, let me explain something about playing both sides in Chicago. It is dangerous. Chicago street politics are not like other cities. You are either with someone or you are against them. There is no middle ground. Because when real conflict is happening and people are dying, sitting on the fence is seen as the ultimate disrespect to both sides. Lil Durk's people are looking at G Herbo like, "We thought you were family. We were there for you when you needed us. And now, when we need you, you're in the club with our rivals." But here is the other side. NBA YoungBoy's people aren't stupid either. They know G Herbo is still cool with Lil Durk, so they are looking at him like, "Is this genuine, or are you just using us for clout?" They don't fully trust him either. So now G Herbo is in a position where nobody trusts him. He is trying to play both sides, but both sides are seeing right through it. And that is when things get dangerous, fam. The fallout from all of this has been crazy. You have one group saying G Herbo is a snake, and that he is chasing whoever is popular at the moment. And right now, let's be real. NBA YoungBoy is one of the biggest rappers in the game. So, some people think G Herbo is just being strategic, trying to align himself with whoever can help his career. Because let's be honest, when was the last time G Herbo had a major hit song? So, maybe he is looking at NBA YoungBoy's success and thinking he can tap into that fan base. Then you have another group saying, "Oh, NBA YoungBoy isn't G Herbo's rival. Why should he inherit Lil Durk's beef?" And on the surface, that's a fair point. But here is where that argument falls apart. This isn't just about gang politics. This is about respect. This is about showing solidarity with your people when they are going through the worst time of their lives. When Lil Durk is locked up, when his freedom is on the line, and when he is facing the possibility of never seeing his kids grow up, that is when you show where you stand. You don't have to go to war with NBA YoungBoy, but you also don't have to be in the club dancing with his crew and rapping his songs. You don't have to go on a live stream and say, I don't know. When asked if you'd work with him, you can just stay neutral, stay quiet, and stay out of it completely. But G Herbo isn't doing that. He is actively engaging with both sides. He is trying to maintain relationships with both camps, and that is what makes it clear he is playing both sides. And let's talk about the timing. If this had happened 2 years ago when Lil Durk was free and when King Von was still alive, maybe it wouldn't feel the same. But right now, when Lil Durk is facing life in prison, that is when you are supposed to show up the most. And instead, we have G Herbo looking like he's auditioning for 4KT. But here is what G Herbo might not be considering. This type of movement can get you hurt. I'm not being dramatic. I'm being real. When you are playing both sides in a conflict where people have actually died and where there is real violence, you are putting yourself in danger. If someone from O-Block sees G Herbo in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they are feeling some type of way about him partying with 4KT, what do you think might happen? If someone from NBA YoungBoy's camp thinks G Herbo is being fake, what might happen? G Herbo is creating a situation where he could become a target for both sides. The bigger picture? Now, let me zoom out and talk about what this really means. Because this situation is bigger than just G Herbo and Lil Durk. This is about a pattern we keep seeing. Rappers switching up when the going gets tough. Someone gets locked up and suddenly all their day ones start acting funny. All those people claiming to be family, they disappear, or even worse, they start hanging with the rivals. But what makes this situation hit harder is that G Herbo built his whole brand on being authentic, on being loyal, and on representing Chicago. He is not some industry plant. He is a street dude who really lived what he raps about. So when someone like that starts moving in a questionable way, it makes people question everything. If G Herbo can switch up, who can't? And let's talk about the message this sends to the younger generation. These kids are watching everything. They see G Herbo in the club with 4KT. They see him hesitating when his son asks about NBA YoungBoy. And they are learning that loyalty is conditional. They are learning that it is okay to switch up when someone is down. That's dangerous, fam, because the streets run on codes, on respect, and on loyalty. When those things break down, that is when you can't trust anyone. But here is what is really scary. This could escalate into real violence. When you are playing both sides in a beef where people have already died, you are creating a dangerous situation, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. Let's say G Herbo makes a song with NBA Young. What do you think happens next? Do you think O-Block is just going to be cool with that? No. That is going to be seen as the ultimate disrespect. Or let's say G Herbo is somewhere with NBA YoungBoy's people, and someone from Chicago sees him, someone who lost a friend to this beef, someone who is still hurting from King Von's death. What might happen in that moment? People make emotional decisions. People do things they can't take back. And it's not just about G Herbo getting hurt. What about the people around him? When you are playing both sides in a deadly beef, you are putting everyone around you at risk. So, where does this leave us? G Herbo is in a tough spot right now. And honestly, it's a spot he put himself in. He's getting cooked on social media. He's getting called out by people from his own city. He is losing respect. And he has to figure out how to navigate this without destroying his reputation or getting himself hurt. Some people think he is going to address it directly. Maybe explain he is just trying to promote peace. But that explanation isn't going to fly because people have already seen through it. Others think he is just going to ignore it and hope it blows over. But in 2024, nothing just blows over. The internet never forgets. Those videos of him in the club with 4KT are going to follow him forever. And Lil Durk, man, I can only imagine what he is thinking. Sitting in that cell, seeing all this play out, watching someone he considered a brother in the club with his rivals, rapping his rivals' music, and trying to play both sides. That has to hurt differently because when you're locked up, you find out who is really with you. And right now, it's looking like G Herbo might not be on that list. The streets are watching, and everyone is waiting to see what happens next. Is G Herbo going to finally pick a side? Is he going to keep trying to play the middle? One thing is for sure, this beef just got real, and it's getting more dangerous by the day. Because when you are playing both sides in a situation like this, eventually something has to give. Eventually you're going to have to pick a side, or both sides are going to pick for you. The smart move would be for G Herbo to pick a side and stick with it. If he wants to be with Lil Durk and O-Block, then be with them fully. Stop going to clubs with 4KT. Stop rapping NBA YoungBoy's music. But if he wants to be cool with NBA YoungBoy, then understand that means burning bridges with Lil Durk, with O-Block, and with a lot of people in Chicago who considered him family. The worst move is what he's doing right now, trying to have it both ways. Trying to play politics in a situation where politics can get you killed, that is the most dangerous position to be in. And that is exactly where G Herbo is right now. What do y'all think? Is G Herbo wrong for trying to play both sides? Do you think this situation could get violent? Drop your comments below because I want to hear what the people think. And make sure you subscribe because this story is far from over. With the way things are going, it might get a lot worse before it gets better. Stay safe out there, gang. And remember, loyalty isn't just a word, it's a lifestyle. And right now, we're all watching to see who is really about it. Because in Chicago, playing games can get you hurt. And G Herbo is playing a very dangerous game right now. This isn't just about rap beef anymore. This is about real life consequences, real danger, and real violence that could pop off at any moment.